Hi everybody, it's Olivier Blanchard, the brand builder, and I am in Dubai in the GCC. Actually, by the time you watch this, I'll probably be back in the US doing the same old thing. But I've been in Dubai most of the week, and I was attending and presenting at the Total Marketing Brand Summit, which is actually a pretty cool event. It was 3 days. The first 2 days were regular conference sessions, and then this morning, the third day, I taught a morning version of RedShare training, which is kind of a workshop in social media integration, and that touched on ROI, but only very, very briefly. So it's really cool. So it's neat because I hadn't been in the Middle East in a really long time, and usually, well, back in the day, all I would do is just kind of land, refuel, and bounce back off. But this time I really got a chance to spend a few days here, and even though part of the deal was for me to teach stuff, I think I've actually learned 100 times more than I actually taught about this region, and not so much about the culture, because that's kind of cliche, but about the business culture here and some of the business opportunities and trends, and it's absolutely fascinating. Just because of the geography of where I live and work, I focus exclusively, or almost exclusively, on North America and Europe. And I never really had a chance to focus on the Middle East and this particular region. And now that I've heard about social media, about business, about marketing, about customer service, about how all these things, mobility and digital, how all these things blend together in the very specific context of this region, I'm pretty excited for a lot of reasons. But one, it's amazing. I heard the statistic yesterday that in this particular area, so in the GCC and other parts of the Middle East and the Arabian Peninsula, what you have is a population under the age of 20 that's over 50%. So over half of the population is the mobility population, the mobile population, the iPhone and Twitter and Facebook populations. Okay, this is an entire demographic that constitutes over half of the population that grew up with this stuff, that's completely empowered with digital, with social, with this kind of the co-creation, complete control over mass media and the filter of media. YouTube is really, really popular here, and it's probably the most important channel in terms of consuming media of all of the ones that exist today. So on the other hand, what you have is a very mature business culture, but that hasn't really incorporated social media into what it does yet. It's still, it's a very traditional business culture when it comes to marketing and advertising. And you can really, really sense it. And I could sense it from some of the discussions that we were having at this conference. And there was a clear separation between the traditional thinking of the create the content, create the message, and then push it out to the masses through traditional means. Even if digital is there, it's still considered to be a traditional channel in some way, at least in its distribution of content and messaging function. And then you had a completely different view from a much younger crowd that dealt with social, with the sociability of business, with the socialization of business, where it's a lot more, not so much about conversations and engagement, those are nice buzzwords, but about how to make businesses more human, how to be smarter, how to be more reactive to your audience, and how to really kind of have a dialogue as opposed to an enhanced monologue, if that makes any sense. So it's really, really interesting to find myself here for a few days and listen, really listen more than I talked, thank God, to what people were saying, to some of the problems that they were talking about encountering, and some of the perceptions that they have about how social media works and fits into their world, and seeing the tremendous opportunity that exists right here in this area. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, because in some ways, the GCC and Dubai in particular reminds me of the marketing world about 3 years ago in the US. Now imagine if knowing what you know now about social, right, about who does it right, who does it wrong, about how to do it right, about how to avoid some of the pitfalls that other companies and pioneering companies made for us, right? They tried to do something, it didn't work, fell on their faces. We kind of criticized them for it, or just kind of cringed a little bit, and then learned from their mistakes. Now imagine if you could go back to 2-3 years ago, knowing what you know now, and be able to help companies that have absolutely no idea how to incorporate all this stuff, how to make it work. that's kind of the feeling that I have here. Not that that's what I'm going to do. I can't move here. But man, the opportunity in here for growth between this youth market, this very fast-flowing mobile market, and the advent of social in an environment that's been already tested in other parts of the world, that can now come into this area much faster, much stronger, much smarter about the kinds of mistakes that you don't want to make, and really help change the face of business in the Middle East. It's mind-boggling. Oh, and the food is great, and the people are really cool. It's gorgeous. I mean, look at this. And Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg, and Jeremy Renner from The Hurt Locker are here filming Mission Impossible 4. Actually, yesterday, Tom Cruise was dangling from a building just across the street from where I was. It's kind of surreal. So if you have an opportunity, no matter what kind of business you're in, to visit Dubai, either as a tourist, as a consultant, if you want to do a little bit of recon as a marketing firm or an agency, or even just to kind of invest in this region, or consider investing in this region in some way, shape, or form, man, you absolutely have to do it. I can't wait to be back here. It's really it's a completely different world from what I'm used to, but it's in a really, really good, interesting, and invigorating way. I wish I could stay an extra month just to really drill deep into this business culture and kind of get my bearings out here. So I guess I'll have to come back. Anyway, I'm rambling, so thanks for watching the video. It's good to be on video again, and I guess I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.